Welcome back to the Healing Voice podcast. My name is Lance Howard, and this is the final part of the Create the Life You Love series titled Pure Genius, in which we discuss sexual energy as the source of pure genius. When given a creative outlet, sexual desire will enhance one's sense of well-being and self-knowledge. Nothing empowers imagination and enthusiasm more creatively than sexual desire, which is composed of creative desire, creative imagination, and creative enthusiasm. The four highest vibrations: ecstasy, intimacy, power, and connection. The focus, drive, and purpose that sexual desire invokes can be harnessed and redirected for higher forms of creative expression. The title of it is Pure Genius, and it's about sexual energy and how sexual energy is the source of pure genius. It's a wild sentence, but let me explain. Sex is the most powerful and perhaps riskiest of human desires. The emotion of sex can be used to transform and create things by switching thoughts from physical focus to non-physical, a higher vibration. This is, in a way, the exact opposite of how we have been conditioned. We have not been taught to see sexual desire as the opportunity to transmute primal energy to higher energy, basic vibration to higher vibration. We have been taught to keep it quite basic, and it is quite infatuating. So I was just thinking about the love songs that we listen to and just the whole infatuation, right? The love stories the love narrative that runs our culture. We have little idea of how sophomoric our idea of sexuality is. Sexual desire can be used to develop higher imagination, courage, willpower, and creativity. And I'll just pause there to say, we know this is true because when you love someone, your thoughts are, I'll do anything. Right? Like that's the normal go-to with love is I'll do whatever it takes. So I'm going to repeat that sentence. Sexual desire can be used to develop higher imagination, courage, willpower, and creativity. The focus, drive, and purpose that sexual desire invokes can be harnessed and redirected for higher forms of creative expression. Your imagination is the limit to this. Sexual desire that is suppressed, misunderstood, or becomes one's master is creative energy that is misused, and so brings about undesired results in the long term. When given a creative outlet, sexual desire will enhance one's whole sense of well-being and self-knowledge. This is the purpose of its origin. And as we get deeper into this, how we understand that this is the purpose of its origin will become more clear. Your genius is found in how you connect to and use the energizing power of sexual desire. Nothing empowers imagination and enthusiasm more creatively than sexual desire. And we're going to break that down into three parts: creative desire, creative imagination, and creative enthusiasm. Through these, we can download unknown knowledge, that which is beyond our current personal experience and faculty, in order to create or complete the idea or vision we hold in mind. So let's talk about those three. They were creative desire, creative imagination, and creative enthusiasm, which is closely akin to joy. Creative desire is being able to envision the result of creative action. It carries the sense of I choose to, or I can. Creative desire's antithesis is the sense of I don't know what I want, I don't know what I choose, or I don't know what I desire, or it has the sense of I can't. Okay, that was creative desire. Creative imagination is having an idea of how to proceed. It carries the sense of I will. Creative imagination's antithesis is the sense of I don't know how. Creative enthusiasm is knowing the readiness to act. It carries a sense of I'm ready. creative enthusiasm antithesis is the sense, I should, I need to, and or I don't want to. So those are the three. And I just explained the sense that they carry and what their antithesis is. And then some of the verbiage that we use when we're on the creative side or the not so creative side. Now we'll move on to the 4 highest vibrations. They are ecstasy, intimacy, power, and connection. Ecstasy is related to creative genius and unity. It has to do with oneness. Obviously, it can involve sexuality, the reality of yin and yang, uniting. This is ecstasy. It is a very larger than feeling. It's larger than myself feeling. Intimacy is connected to love, but it is also connected to purpose and identity. As we learn who we are and what we're here to do, love is instantly involved with this, and our understanding of ourself blossoms into this reality that we call love, and it brings intimacy, which comes from self. It's intimacy with me first. It is self-love. Power has to do with purpose, right? Power is just simply the ability to do, to achieve. And we only choose to do or achieve something when we hold a sense of purpose. And the 4th one is connection, which again is related to identity. It's related to relationship, just how we relate to things or people. This is connection. Every person is hardwired to experientially know the 4 highest vibrations in abundance, for these are the highest vibrations of experience. Anything that stimulates the mind, the body, and heart in these ways will easily get our attention. And I'll pause there to talk about marketing briefly, that these 4 highest vibrations, everything that gets marketed to us hits on these 4: ecstasy, intimacy, power, connection. Mm-hmm. And you can even see it in a pharmaceutical commercial. They'll use connection, especially, right? Your relationship to people. In the commercial, there's certain music, and there's always a family involved. And if this drug is gonna, be the answer to making your relationships better, because somehow you'll be better when you take this drug. This type of idea. Sex elicits all of these at once, indicating the power of intimate relationship as a primary goal of human desire. Only music is second to sex in its ability to bring about the 4 highest vibrations. What we have missed is the paramount value and importance of intimate relationships, which can be cultivated with one's own true self. This paves the way.
Can you repeat that?
Yeah, I can repeat that. What we have missed is the paramount value and importance of intimate relationships, which can be cultivated with one's true self. Is that murky? Is it clear? It's a little murky, Okay. So this is to say, this innate desire for intimate relationship is really the desire for intimacy itself, which is one of the 4 highest vibrations. And we're saying that the first point of true intimacy is knowing oneself. So we're looking outside of us, right, for the answer, or for that person, or for true love, or however we want to say it. And it starts from within. It comes from within. The outer circumstance will align itself with us when we become the thing that we're looking for. And more precisely, because that was not very precise, when we realize we already are the thing that we're looking for. Mm-hmm. Then all things will come into alignment without the work, without the struggle, without the pain and heartache or whatever else, right? Mm. This paves the way for satisfaction in every other relationship, including how we relate to material things. So, yeah, I like that sentence, including how we relate to material things. It's like if I just... When I know the truth of who I am, my relationship to everything, everyone and everything makes more sense. Nothing is out of whack anymore. Nothing is misplaced. I put nothing above myself, and yes, that's just it. I put nothing above myself, right? Whatever the item is that maybe I once would really just put a lot of effort into getting, thinking that thing would bring whatever, happiness or joy or peace, or that's not even a part of the equation anymore. The feeling of when something just seems so good from afar, like the grass is greener on the other side, that just dissipates. It's just not a thing anymore. I will choose that thing over there for the pure joy of getting to experience who I am in relation to that. Not because I need that, not because I even want that, but just because I can. And this goes back to the 3 types of creativity: creative desire, creative imagination, and creative enthusiasm. It's like this true affection is there for the item or the person. My imagination can already see how to proceed. And then there's this enthusiasm that says, sure, I'm ready for that. Sure, I will, proceed and do this or that. So much healthier the I choose or I can, and the I will and the I'm ready, instead of I don't know what I want, or I don't know what I choose, or I don't know what I desire, or I don't know how, or I should, or I need to, or I want, simply. Or even that I don't want to, which is like suddenly you're pushing things away. Yeah. That one's a little fuzzy. You're pushing things away. There is a time to push things away. But this type of I don't want to, for example, is like laziness. That type of anti-enthusiasm, I guess. I don't want to. This is the path of pure genius, which is sacred feminine or divine feminine. At the retreat, we learned her name was Emma or Amma. Pure genius is Emma or Amma. She's also been called Sacred Mother. She's also been called Wisdom, and she is the epitome of wisdom. She was there since before the beginning. She is divine feminine. And we're talking about using pure genius, using divine feminine, because she is part of who and what we are made of. This is the path of pure genius, which is one with and as infinite intelligence. Pure genius is born out of creative imagination, which is the divine masculine. It has been called Abba, Father, which is one with and as infinite intelligence. So we just said that pure genius is born out of creative imagination, and they are both one with and as infinite intelligence. Intuition, inspiration, ideas, concepts, and hunches arise from here, capital H, arise from pure genius and creative imagination, which is one with and as infinite intelligence. This is the realm or the domain of the subconscious mind. You carry this around all the time, and you're using this amazing power, and There are parts of the day, maybe mostly the larger part of the day, where you don't realize that you are using this creative magic just to move about, just literally to move around your space. You're using the power. And if you can consciously be aware that you are using this creative power and or magic, you can very well choose to use it to create the life you love. Remember at the beginning I said the only limit to this is your own imagination. The focus, drive, and purpose that sexual desire invokes can be harnessed and redirected for higher forms of creative expression. Your imagination is the limit to this. Now we can see how sexual desire is connected to this whole idea of subconscious mind and creativity, because we just talked about Abba and Emma, masculine and feminine, right? Now we can get a sense of, sexual desire. Okay, yin and yang coming together. The 4 highest vibrations are the path to the highest vibration of thought, beyond the norm, greater than what most people are operating with. Normal thoughts keep people bound by a lack of creativity, bound by this systemic way of thinking, which is very limiting. Lower thoughts keep people bound in negative energy like fear, addiction, hate, and anger. The 4 higher vibrations keep the individual untouchable, illimitable, free to act at will, and free to create on demand with ever-increasing bandwidth and self-realization. I just laughed because last night I set an intention, and then the next morning I opened my email and there it was, and it was so cool. I was like, yes, I know that I did that. It was awesome. And it was one of those things where I'd kind of been planting small seeds for it along the way, but last night it finally just made so much sense. Like there was no doubt whatsoever. This will be taken care of in the morning. And literally in the middle of the night while I'm sleeping, it happened. The 4 highest vibrations stimulate the archetypal you, capital A, the greatest love, wisdom, and courage to rise. The 4 highest vibrations stimulate the archetypal you, the greatest love, wisdom, and courage to rise, or to rise up. Remember we talked about heroes and how they play a role in our perception of ourselves and what we're capable of. The archetypal you, we're talking about the hero version of you. We're talking about the true you. Like the hero version of you is the true you, actually. The 4 highest vibrations, ecstasy, intimacy, power, and connection, call that out. Call this best part of you out. Calls it forward. As we peel off these layers of our culture and our conditioning, the archetype is able to press forward more to the front, where it can be seen and where you're more in touch with it and you're feeling it more, and people start to see it in you more, and yeah. But most importantly is just you feel more and more connected to it. It's not in the background so much anymore. It's coming forward, which is an issue of awareness mainly. Yes, it is an issue of awareness because it can't really be hidden. What's a good way of saying that? It can't really be hidden at all. So I'm using this imagery of it coming forward, or layers being peeled off of it so it can arise or come forth. I don't know.
Veils. Veils. Like I visualize a candle where there's a flame that's always there, but one veil in front of another. Okay. And each veil makes it seem like it's not there. It might seem darker, but it's always there.
Yeah. So truly, do not be divided within yourself. Mm-hmm. Don't lose touch with who you truly are because of anxious thoughts saying, what will we eat? Or what will we drink? Or how will we cover ourselves? What will we wear? All of these things are what culturally conditioned and illusioned people seek. They identify with the attachments and distractions of this world, being concerned with these worries. But most importantly, and first of all, think, reason, meditate upon, inquire into, set your intention for, strive after, and aim to find the ruling empowerment of the one true self and its solid foundation of inner and outer justice and coherence, perfect natural stability of mind and heart, and balanced relation of self to the universe. Then you will receive everything you need. So honestly, don't be divided within yourself over anxious thoughts, losing touch with who you truly are because of the simple and fleeting things of tomorrow. Those concerns will take care of themselves. Each day has enough misfortune and lessons of its own without you adding to it. That's from Matthew 6:31 through 34, the THV version. We are conditioned to lower ourselves by allowing sexual desire to rule our senses. This reduces our creative ability to that of animals rather than pure genius. Sexual energy is the power to transcend physical expression. Sexual energy transmuted to creative desire, creative imagination, and creative enthusiasm comes from within. With these, you can align with and get in tune with rare and sacred thought, the original and sacred sound that has always been the source of everything. Sexual desire and spiritual urges are the soul's cries for increased awareness of connection to the source, which we have called God. This is a different way of speaking about sexual stuff, right? And remember, the ego is always pointing outside of us. So even sexual desire is a way for the ego to get on the throne just for a moment. And what I'm saying is life continually reflects the same truth to us. Look within, look within, look within. It happens in so many different ways. Oh, and this is like the most valuable way. This is one of the most important ones. It fuels how we create other humans and how we create families and how we create societies. It's like, take a look at this power that enables you to literally spread across the earth and do the things that you do. Now, use it to create the life that you love more than fleeting moments of ecstasy and fleeting moments of connection and fleeting moments of intimacy and fleeting moments of power. You can experience these four on demand whenever you want. You can walk in them tangibly, consciously. And then your decision making, power, creativity, everything about that will be off the charts. Just pure, raw, creative power. The children of Adam, the progeny of mankind, their principal action is wrapped up in the birthright and responsibility to realize, rebuild, and repair the family name and sacred reality. We, and they have come to seek, find, and preserve that which is lost, seemingly useless and causing misery. Or, the heirs and students of sacred life, breath, self, energy, individually assimilated I-ams of the one I am, their principal action is entangled with the birthright and responsibility to realize, rebuild, and repair the family name and sacred reality. They, we, and I have come endeavoring, desiring, and requiring that which has been forgotten, stolen, and seemingly destroyed. Or, the descendants of primordial personhood, heaven and earth beings, whom we call mankind, their principal action is wrapped up in the birthright and responsibility to rebuild, realize, repair the family name and sacred reality. This I has come seeking, has come with considerable thinking and natural inquiry, striving to find and then protect that which has been lost, the truth about life and how to live. That's from Luke chapter 19, verse 10, the THV version, and I thought it was a nice one to put in there because this raw energy for creativity that we're discussing is the very thing that drives us to do all of this seeking, and we think we're seeking everything else, but the truth is we're seeking that which is lost, and it's who we are seeking that. And the illusion is that, I don't know, I'm seeking a better job, or I'm seeking whatever, right?
Something outside of you.
Something outside of me. That's what I'm seeking. I'm seeking, something or someone outside of me. And what an amazing trip that actually we get to use all of that seeking and desiring. Or life is using it to help us come to the question, what am I doing? Who am I? What am I supposed to be doing? Like, that's the point. This is why we can't, get out of... This is why in this life we will have trouble until it's no longer necessary. The trouble is related to the fact that we still haven't found or become consciously aware on a habitual basis of who we are. So life very lovingly keeps allowing us to trip and fall and stumble along the way until we start going, okay, I'm so tired of tripping and falling. What am I doing here? Mm-hmm. That really is a loving thing. And I'm sure, or I would think that we all know what it's like to see a parent who's so protective and we go, that's a little too much. That's overprotective. Now the child can't learn the proper thing in the situation. Mm-hmm. You gotta let them trip. You have to let them trip before they'll go, oh, I have to pick up my feet to get over this thing, you know? Back to, father and mother, divine masculine and divine feminine. This great intelligence knows what all of this is about while we're complaining and going, why is this happening to me? Emotion encourages the mind, and this is not by accident. The more powerful the emotion, the more power the urge and the act which is to follow, for better or for worse. The most influential urge is sexual. This urge is the nature of man and woman, beyond sex and certainly beyond lust. Intelligent use of sexual energy is the cultivation of pure power, the ultimate birthright and purpose of mankind. Irresponsible use of sexual energy, like irresponsibility with any mindset, is destructive to one's mental health and relationships. This is the opposite of creating the life you love. And again, this only is to agree with the fact that we still needed to experience. If we've been irresponsible with sexual energy, we still required that experience to get to the next realization, which is hopefully, I would rather not experience that again. How can I go about it better? Love, which is spiritual, romance, and sex, which is biological, are emotions that can lead to our highest expression and creativity. Emotions are energy in motion. The direction in which you allow emotion to move determines the results of that energy. What you see or envision, feel or emote, and believe or have faith in is what you will manifest. What you see or envision, what you feel or emote, and believe or have faith in is what you will manifest. Gosh, if you don't hear anything else, that one sentence is enough. What you see or envision, feel or emote, and believe or have faith in is what you will manifest. Destructive emotion distorts positive ones. Jealousy distorts love. Division distorts unity. All negative emotions are distortions or lusts for the four highest vibrations, or desiring them and not knowing how to functionally experience them. Thus, a person's lust for the four, ecstasy, intimacy, power, and connection, requires that they manipulate people in order to manipulate circumstances to fill their vampirous need. This is also innate in us. It's just in our nature to... We're talking about the four highest vibrations, and we are naturally programmed to seek these things: intimacy, ecstasy, power, and connection. But we don't know how to go about it, so we do it very dysfunctionally, which means we automatically begin to manipulate, because that's the only way we know how to do, until we learn otherwise. Promoting the truth of love and unity is the driving force of habitual transformation and creation. Love is the greatest. There is no other vehicle for personal or communal change. Our concerns, stress, doubts, and all unpleasant experiences are quenched by the energy of love. From this environment of peace, forming the life we love occurs with ease as long as we abide there. Love is like a magnet that draws one to oneself in another form, but of the same substance. Oh, I love that sentence. Love is like a magnet that draws one to oneself in another form, but of the same substance. So, that means when I know myself appears everywhere else, and it just naturally comes to me. I don't have to go searching. I don't have to be worried about it. Oh, man. And it's so freeing. It is so freeing to live with that kind of confidence. It feels really, really good. We can call this magnet sexual energy, and that energy is raw creative power. When the two come together, again, we're talking male and female, divine masculine, divine feminine. When the two come together, what is on their mind, what they hold subconsciously and consciously, becomes sacred creation. This goes just back to congruence, being in sync, being aligned within oneself. This is how the two come together. This is how divine masculine and divine feminine come together as one team within you, and you aren't causing them to almost operate as warring opposites. The war is just because we still hang on to things outside of us, or we're attached to things outside of us, or we desire things outside of us. So it creates this war, this incongruence, this lack of integrity within the person. And so it becomes really difficult to create a life you love with that happening. So back to the point of just knowing who you are and walking in that, now the two can come together, and whatever is on their mind, meaning just your purpose and your identity, whatever's there for you, becomes sacred creation without a doubt. It's fast. It's really fast. And now there's been a shift since maybe since early 2019, but mid to late 2019 is when I could really tell, like, ooh, things are moving. And then into 2020, and now with the convergence that occurred, the ability to manifest things or to create things in your life for better or for worse is like super fertilized. Just start dreaming and start loving and know who you are without a shadow of a doubt. And if you don't know who you are without a shadow of a doubt, then Get to know that. Talk to me. Identity process. Get in it. Do your manual. Get after it because the time is ripe. The time is ripe. R-I-P-E, ripe. Oh my, so I have to add this in. When this Hebraic prophet came on the scene a long time ago by the name of John, Yochanan in their language, he was called the Immerser. Today in Christianity, he's called John the Baptist. His message was repent for the kingdom is at hand. But it means something like get back in sync. You realign yourself with the divine because the self-empowerment you're looking for is ripe and ready. That is the message. And then he immersed the man Christ. And then when Christ began his mission, he said the exact same thing. Repent for the kingdom is at hand. Get back in sync with who you truly are because the self-empowerment you're looking for is ready and you can just take it. It's yours for the taking. I, the great I, has made it known. You are God's mighty ones, supernatural beings. Each one of you are heirs and descendants of the one true self. That's from Psalm 82, verse 6, the THV version. And in the Gospel of John, chapter 10, 34, the man called Christ actually quoted it because they were trying to debate him on his own divinity. And he said, is it not written in the divine principles and guiding instructions, the great I of I has appointed and certified that you are mighty ones, supernatural beings? Direct contact with the intelligent mind is through what we call the heart. The highest meaning of the word heart is the innermost center of who we are. It is the doorway to our deepest and most true self, the true I within. The flow of inspiration, ideas, and creativity come through this place we call the heart. The four highest vibrations are magnetic. They change things, people, situations, and circumstances, drawing upon all of life for support and inspiration. The intangible forces are the greatest and most influential upon the individual and the group. They can be used for love or for nefarious purposes. Love is exponentially more powerful and is the only route to true success, fulfillment, wealth, health. And these are the epitome of prosperity. And to end, I would like to quote the ruling, reigning, governing power of the one true self doesn't appear locally. It is not something you can observe, watch, or relate to proximally. You won't be able to say, see, there it is, or look, it's over there. Understand, the realm of the one and only exists within you and among all of you. The sacred expression, support, and domain of the great I Am's self-empowerment is within all of you. Or it could be said this way. The living, moving force of vision that creates each present moment, the influence and inspiration of sacred unity, that which we have called God, the rule and reign, action and work, purpose and power of unity in diversity, again, that which we have called God, is not something you'll find in this physical existence. No one will be able to say, I found it, look, there it is. The reality of truth, the rule and support of the first and only self, the experience of I Am, the unified field, the reality of truth, the purposeful, empowering vision, the authority, counsel, and provision of the Sacred One is here within you, individually, in your midst, now, among you, and within all. Or another way it could be read is, The authority of self-empowerment, the living, moving power of vision, the reality of potential, which creates each present moment with influence and inspiration. The full flowing energy of the I am and I can of the universe is not something you can take with a lust for control as a platform for your ego. The power you desire doesn't come by watching and waiting. The great I am is within you. The ability to experience the creative power of the I am and use it to influence and shape the world exists within you. So knowing that, I want to encourage you to think of the highest good that you would choose right here and right now. And it's okay to struggle to find the highest good, meaning our mind begins to rumble and we're not sure. We're like, oh, but what? And I don't know about that and how. Just, it's okay to struggle with that. I can talk you through this process of settling into the highest good and knowing that you know you are capable. You can, and therefore you are, and you can, and therefore you will bring about the highest good. Remember, your connection to who you are is very connected with breath. You cannot separate from that fact. So breathe. And you know what it's like when you take those breaths and then you feel the energy like in your face and in your fingertips and in your feet. And I think at the retreat we practiced moving the energy even, and I think some of you were quite sure that you knew that you were doing that. That's that raw power. You have the power. And then again, there may be some hurdles as to how, like I think I'm choosing this higher good, but I'm struggling to actually just settle into it, meaning I'm struggling to really know that I know that I know that I can choose this and I can have this and I can be this. Remember at the beginning of this series we learned if you can see it, if you can feel it and believe it, then you can create it. See it, feel it, believe it, and then it will be. The seeing, the feeling, and believing is you coming into alignment. All parts of you agreeing that this is the thing. This is the thing for me. That's for better or for worse though, right? So it takes some high amount of scrutiny within you to pay attention to your thoughts, because you may be seeing, feeling, and believing things that you don't really choose to create in your life, or you wouldn't love to experience. So we want to keep weeding those things out, and we want to just get in the habit of seeing, feeling, believing what we would love to experience. And if we wouldn't love it, then we don't want to waste time thinking about it. We want to talk way less about it.
I can tell you that when I feel it, and I like all of everything that you said, that there's this effervescent, bubbly feeling that just like flows through my body, and that's when I know that I'm just like, I'm not just visualizing, but I'm feeling and knowing it.
Yeah.
It's a very distinct thing I felt throughout the years, and I've just learned to identify that that's the I am in me being like, you got this.
That's it. Yep. The body speaks just like that. There's definitely a language your body is telling you. I had a big one that I've been chasing down, this is a funny way of talking. It seemed like a really big one, and it seemed like Lance had to really chase it down until he realized that he just didn't have to chase it down, right? It's like the vision seemed so high and so lofty, but some part of him kept saying, don't look away. Keep looking at that vision. We can align with this. And I sense it and feel it more and more every day, and it will change my family history. It is already changing my family history. My lineage is being adjusted, meaning what I'll get to pass along is what's changing the family line. And that's amazing. It is amazing. The great I am that I am. Is the overarching definer of everything that is. Everything that exists is what the great I am says it is. Everything that exists is exactly what the great I am says it is. So our source of knowledge, our sources of information are not what the culture or the media or the president or politicians or our school teachers or school systems or dictionaries. None of these things or people are the true source of information. That would also mean that this economic system that we've been taught to attempt to fit into, even that tries to define how we must go about living our lives. And just understand that the great I am is the foundation upon which we have even built that system. And the great I am totally overrides that program. You are only limited by your own imagination about what you can do here and now. You are completely unlimited, though the world says no, it cannot be done. There is no limit because you and the great I am are one. And if you say it, if you say what it is, because you know it and you feel that alignment and that pure love is there, it is what the great I am says it is, and it will be what the great I am says it will be. This is how miracles take place. It is overriding the system. That is what a miracle is. It is the great I am coming in and saying, nope, we're going to change this to that right now, regardless of what you've been told or you've been led to believe about how this should go. That is like, woo, better than butter on toast.
Oh, popcorn.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's good. So don't set the bar too low. But also maybe don't set it too high. It's okay to take it in steps and do what you can align with. Be what you can align with for now. And as we continue to learn and grow, our vision expands. And then we'll start upping the ante on our affirmations, and it'll the whole snowball thing that we've talked about, right? It'll grow. And we're only learning how great we are. That's it. We're learning how great we are. Ooh, you're learning how great you are. Oh,
I am.
Yeah.
Remembering who I am.
Mm-hmm. Thanks for listening to the Healing Voice podcast. The passages I read are my own THV translation and are available at thvtv.com. Email me at thvtv@protonmail.com to inquire about a free trial of the Bible Redefined library. I also invite you to try the identity process. Get to know the answers to these questions. Who am I? What am I here to do? And how will I do it? Go to the website to make your initial appointment. THV has apparel now. Look for the apparel page on the website. THV is also on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Bitchute, Odyssey, and Rumble. If you'd like to support the work of THV, you can send a donation. I'll leave the links in the description. Thanks for listening, and tell someone about THV today.